Hello everyone and welcome to another match of Roulette Rivals 17. The round is Swiss round 1, we've just begun the competition. This is day number 2 and the match here is BigMachete13 versus ThatObserver if all goes well, but I think it will now. This match was originally scheduled to happen 30 minutes ago and after, well, technically one no-show by Observer, but a quick message after, there was just a very quick reschedule. This is my first cast of the tournament, so don't mind why I'll switch a couple of settings. I'll raise my voice and I'll add the match URL voice so that we have, or match URL sounds rather, so that we can have gameplay audio from currently both players, so hopefully that will be fine, but we'll manage. And I think I have to add one more filter to my mic. Just I realized that there is no noise suppression. I think that is what I'm looking for. Yeah. Okay, hopefully now it's gonna be ready. 36 seconds into the first spin. Unsurprising map choices here, I guess, rather the bans. BigMachete is the Santa Fortuna player of the community, so that was Observer's first ban in this competition. And I'm not sure about Observer's win rate, but Machete on his return match didn't want to play Paris, but instead chose Sapienza, and we will go to another quick map after in Dubai. This is a best of 5, as all Swiss stage matches are, which means that the match can end in a 5-5 tie, but otherwise the match will end when someone reaches 6 points, like all matches so far in this top competition. The first spin is here. Silvio Caruso, letter opener as pile of security, and Francesco De Santis drowning as mansion staff. So fairly simple disguises. You would probably want to start lab and bring the security closer to the mansion, or you don't really need to worry about that one because cave lockdowns do exist, and just end with lockdown and kill Silvio down in the lab. A lot of options here, but fairly simple spins to get started. The letter opener is right next to Francesca. It's on her desk rather, and Franny is always one emetic dart away. Maybe, of course, you want to bring some tranquilizers for either her guards or Silvio's guards. And then, of course, the FA gun, famous item, at least on this map, the automatic pistol. To get started, I think, just checking, but I think I'll turn the volume a little bit down. And we have decent starts here. Machete with what would be my preference, I think, starting in the lab and taking the briefcase and the item inside, and Observer is starting Gardener, which will allow for, well, I say a quicker Franny kill, but beyond 1 point you cannot be too quick on Franny, because I think the earliest you can reasonably make her sick is that 115, 125 timing when she enters her room. But Obs is now spending his time wisely getting this mansion stuff, which is with the housekeeper, but just with a coin throw it will be easy enough to get. I want to get the disguise, but this was just an input that I think he wanted to press, but ended up didn't, and Observer has a disguise for the Franny kill. Moody says it's Durian hype, but I think it was Machete's item, because for Observer I see the emetic device, the Ambrose grenade, which probably works even better since it detonates instantly, and there is no real chance for others to. Oh, changes. Oh wow, it's that kind of day, is it, right? It's very big side story about the previous match. That was Magic Dave versus Alex Hiller, and Alex had awful PC issues, and we think that the reason for that was way too high settings, and it's very funny that Observer is now also changing his settings. The first and second time I've seen someone do this mid-match. Observer's Ambrose grenade hit all 3 of the guards, which is a little bit of problematic, because if Ops presses down too quickly, then I'm pretty sure that one of those guards will reroute. I will still wait 5 seconds until 2-0-0 maybe. Well, in typical Ops fashion, we will have to sweat a little bit because it will be sketchy, but it's like it's gonna be fine for him. First kill down. Well ahead of BigMachete, who has made her sick and is now using the Chanks because he has the agency pickup. He had the opportunity to use more Chanks and he does now. Can be a very simple first kill, but about 20-ish seconds behind. I think both players do have the letter opener now. BigMachete also, of course, has it in inventory, and I'm pretty sure Observer also made sure to pick it down. I think that it is not the lockdown you want here for Observer, because not only the two guards will follow, anyone from outside may. Okay, so it's only just two green guns after the first KO. And now you just have to lock on the other guard and then nothing really matters. Nice. It's huge for Observer. That was a bit scary, but he got it done. Now let's see if BigMachete has the cave lockdown as well. Compromise, but as long as the biolab security is not orange, which I think he isn't, then that should be kill number 2. But also kill number 2 for BigMachete, but the only difference is that Observer is doing this kill much closer to the exit. That's the EMP drop and the cliff drop or cave side drop, and that's all objectives down for Observer, who will win this first map unless BigMachete has very long loading times, which he does actually. So, you know, there is a chance, and we will have to see the in-game times for a better reference, but I think we're looking at a 10-15 second difference. 3:33 plays the 3:55 or even 4 minutes and above, so I think this is a kind of photo finish that will not get overturned, but BigMachete will definitely be the person with the longer loads. It's PS4 for BigMachete and fairly high end. Yeah. I don't want to say high end because I don't know if Observer's loads are too low, but fine, fair PC with probably 4, 5, 6 seconds of loading. Actually, it's not the shortest. So that's another point for Observer's win. I don't think BigMachete loaded for 20 something seconds. This is a very impressive return spin from BigMachete. Afro said in chat that he's got no practice and hasn't played the game in month. Is he lying? Well, BigMachete's last tournament was RWC 2024, which would be a October/November tournament. If I remember correctly, he lost to Chris X3 in the round of 32. As you can see, Observer is not happy with his settings. Of course, this is round 1. This is usually the case where people are playing for the first time since weeks. Sorry, 1 second. So, of course, if they don't play for a couple of weeks or months at a time, and then settings may change, you play different game modes, and you just don't feel as comfortable as maybe later in the tournaments. So we have the 20-second photo finish difference, and just wanna keep an eye out on the Discord, but there was no immediate wave from BigMachete. You'll probably figure out fairly soon if that one BigMachete loading time was 18 seconds or longer. BigMachete needs to beat Observer's load by 18 seconds for it not to be an Observer win, which doesn't feel likely. I think BigMachete was closer to 16 seconds and Observer to 6 seconds. Or I guess that magnitude rather. I think Observer didn't miss a tournament because I remember checking his stats if he was a person with a longer streak. I think he does have a participation streak. I want to check from placements. Yeah, I see now. Observer has played for the last 12 tournaments. This is his 13th tournament and the 13th in a row. Best result being a 5th place from R13. But also some top 10s. Actually 5 top 10s. Lifetime. He didn't make it to the knockout stage last time around, but he has definitely taken the perfect start, taking this first map against Machete. Wow, and I didn't even see that Machete's load was 25 seconds and Observer's load was 23 seconds. Could there have been a restart, or Observer's PC was just that bad on that first load? We did see that Obs was checking the settings a lot, but I didn't think it was that long. So now we go to Dubai, which, yeah, over 1 load for both players. I see the edit now by Moo, thank you so much. But yeah, now we go to Dubai. Fairly short break, but of course they were on their breaks already, so I think it's a fair point by Moo. And now hopefully with no ray tracing on either side, yes, that's true, Cotilby. We can have some better loading times. They have both preloaded and are ready for this second map. So Sapienza was chosen by Machete, won by Observer, and now it's on Observer's home map. We see how this match continues. The Dubai spin is Carling Ram Folding Knife as Heli Pilot, and Marcus Stuyvesant Kitchen Knife as Event Staff. I think the Folding Knife always makes it an interesting decision, whether you want to start event security and go for the Folding Knife, but the Marcus skill is just so streamlined, so you, I think, always want to start event staff with the blue egg in your hand or 2 darts for security room ISO. I don't see the blue egg on Observer's side, and Machete also only has a breacher and a crowbar, so it will either beat some chunks or they will wait a bit longer. Observer is picking up this Tauntaun for a total of 4 darts, probably 2 downstairs and 2 upstairs, so will be the straightforward security room ISO with Machete a little bit behind, and I think this is now the difference between loading times. Obs was quicker to load in, but PS4 was definitely not kind to Machete on this map either. Observer with the first kill down at 45 seconds in-game time, and the silenced pistol in hand, which is actually his silenced pistol. Huh, that's gonna be interesting, because Observer used his 2 chunks and has a pistol in his loadout, so he needs to do this. He needs to do the remainder of the spin chunkless.
Right there.
Machete at 48 seconds until 45, still alright to do that. And I think Ops has now realized that this is gonna be tight on loadout. But he'll be able to figure this one out. This is a bit tricky, especially with the banana, but that's all 4 guards down, as well as Skull. And now it's the question whether you want to go for the Heli Pilot first or the Folding Knife first, but I think either way is fine. Not a big difference. Machete misses the throw and misses the chunk, and that will be a restart for him. He had the plan A and the plan B, but both have missed, giving the lead to Observer by a significant margin. Oops, once again not taking the disguise, and I think this is a situation where he's really not happy with the settings. Because we've seen with the mentioned stuff on Sapienza that maybe he was pressing some disguise change button and it didn't trigger, and he had to turn around to actually change the disguise. But for now I don't really see the benefit. If I guess rather the only reason I could see him stay in England's bodyguard is that he's not confident in the chest passing properties, and he will end up going back up. It's a bit of an improvisation moment, but he will be able to pick up this Folding Knife. And of course another point is that it's legal to pick up the knife, so that's just a change of plans, I think. The rest of the spin will be simple for Ops. Either the pipe or most likely the ladder. It's probably even faster to do. Oh, it's gonna be a rip for... Oh, a quick revive for Machete, so... this ISO didn't work out the second time. But regardless, it's an Observer lead and probably an Observer win. Oh, it wasn't the... So, yeah, the question is who woke him up, and that's... that's a really funny one. I mean, I have two ideas, and neither of them are great, as Observer finishes the 405 RTA and takes the 4-0 lead. I guess my two ideas would be one, that the time between the first and the second Trank was enough for the guard to wake up his counterpart, and of course get Tranked himself and all that, so huge delay. Or if people remember the days when this ISO was done with a snail, the outside guard can have some psychic properties towards the inside guard. If you snail the maintenance staff lady outside and the two guards inside, then the outside guard will run in and wake him up. Wake one of them up rather. Regardless, that is definitely a bullshit trip, which really doesn't sound fair to try to make sense of. Machete should have stayed alive with that second attempt, but luckily it didn't change the outcome. It is an Observer win. Also, I didn't check, but it was the snail strat, so at least Machete says the snail and Reaper also says the snail. I was under the impression that both of them used the Trank. But that would be incorrect then, because I remember Obsis load out with the pistol and the one Trank, but Machete must have used the snail for this isolation, and that's just another point against the snail stretch, sadly. We have 3 RNG maps for this match as always, starting in Miami, and the next one is Whittleton Creek, which we will get there if Observer doesn't win this map. And for a potential decider, we will have Ambrose Island as map number 5. So I'm gonna say it's mostly the straightforward maps, no big 5 here. The longest map would be, I guess, Miami of the 5. Sapienza can have some spins, which you can't do in 5-6 minutes, but so does Miami. But all in all, nothing from Big 5, nothing from Bangkok, Marrakesh, or Scale. But yeah, it's exclusively 2 target maps, no Dartmoor, no New York either. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but Afro at least did manage to, or did type it out, the proximity mine for Machete and the the flak on the vomitive. But the ICA 19 gold beller just does not change between languages. Good to know. I think that was a long plan for Ops again. That's so strange. You try to pay close attention to these loading times. Of course, it is mostly Moo's job and duty, but he got his share of the photo finish. Now I think the first photo finish of the tournament. Hopefully no more there. In terms of unique kills, Peter Dutton is hoping for Shoot the Car, which is currently the only one on this map. There are now, I think, 9 unique kills across the trilogy, so a better than ever chance to meet something new. It's not anything unique, but still pretty interesting because we have Sierra Knox Cleaver as Moses Lee and Robert Knox Starfish as Food Vendor. Starfish, the one of the kills that you don't like to see if you're on a chillo run, but I guess otherwise Doesn't really matter what kind of spin you get, it just adds a minute and a half to your spin. Observer with a pretty long load, but it was, I think, instant plan. And now 30 seconds in, he's in already, so could be closer to 15-20 seconds. Machete not so far behind. Oops, is not taking the food vendor. He could take a free disguise after the CR kill. What would be important here is, and I think that's the reason why Ops is going down here, to do a pit stop with the sugar. Imagine if you become the cowboy mechanic and sabotage the race for Moses though. So this is the one question I have about the first half of the spin is don't you want a... Huh. Well, Observer is going the wrong way towards the cow garage. But back to my original question, don't you want a trespass in disguise in the cow garage so that you can peekaboo Moses after? I guess you not necessarily. It is my preferred strat, but I think Obs will just chank Moses right after the pit stop. Don't personally like this strat, but people can make it very convincingly and consistently. So we see, and Ops has the chank in hand. And the move they says, GL Bob. So we'll see how it works out. Machete will different strat. He will sabotage the Kronstedt pit stop, peekaboo Sierra to her usual side zoom, and then go for Moses Lee, which will also line up with the second peekaboo, and Oops, gets it. And it seems that the body is not found. It is still not found, so it's a nice disguise grab. And now he will have the better part of one full lap. So as much as 20-25 seconds to wait until Sierra can be peekabooed. Her car is still not in the box. She's slowing down. And then, of course, very slowly she will get out of the car. And the peekaboo will happen. The peekaboo will happen for Machete first. Because it doesn't have these guys yet. It will be just a bit of a back and forth. So we are still experiencing an observer lead. But I think this map will really come down to map knowledge. Not really knowing where the starfish is, because I think they do know it, that it's in the number 12 aquarium. Next to the exhibition. But rather, how do you get there? How do you get from the starfish to Robert? Machete with every sedative item ever in the history of IO Interactive. The snail has been used, the black has been dropped, and he could still use a Cheng, but instead will end up with a subdue. And I don't know the Kaun garage machinations and cycles after the race ends, but I'm fairly confident that no one will enter this garage now, so Machete also has the first disguise, but he will still have to go for the cleaver. Oh, Ops. This is tough for Ops. He lost his final chunk on this non-free food vendor. There would be a free one to get, which is unfortunate. He could do this much quicker and much safer. Now the food vendor is lured, but the guard is coming, and these NPCs will have line of sight on each other. Unless, of course, if Observer just does a gun click. Smart improvisation. That turn there is a bit sketchy for Observer, but gets the KO and gets the body hidden. The guard is still turning away, so it seems like not in simple terms, but Observer gets this second disguise down. Machete's kill was also done correctly, and I'm curious to see whether he goes for the free disguise. He is eyeing these food vendors, and he will end up with the same lure. It's not a stream snipe, it is just the most logical food vendor to go if you don't remember the free one, so it just happens sometimes, of course. Op doesn't have a lot of trespassing areas to go, although that was a bit ballsy to enter the hostile area with the lady still up and nearby. He's now on the floor of this starfish, just a couple of cameras to shoot. And I'm curious to see if either of these players are tempted to sabotage the show car. I think even for starfish spins, it would just make more sense to go up in the regular way and shoot the laptop and kill and exit. If there was an exit even closer to this aquarium, it would be better. Ops wants to go safe there because of how easy it is to double and triple shot these guards. Has a starfish and we'll now contemplate which way to go up. That door is closed, but he can go through this guy showroom. And I think up the pipe, and it's a regular ending from Observer. I'm not sure if I heard a whoosh there, but there was an item throw for Machete to turn the engineer lady. And now the same shot for the same camera just a minute behind. The lead is growing towards Observer, who will try this lesser known or lesser used strategy. The peekaboo downstairs works out very nicely for the second cycle. If the door doesn't close on him, oh, that's a huge whoosh. It works out nicely. Window has already been shot. And it should work out fine, just don't look on the wrong head. Looks fine. That's the one KO and then the one kill. Don't see anything, I don't see anyone hurt him. So 2 kills down and just the exit, not even... Observer doesn't even need to shoot the cameras. Looking like a safe win there, and even though Machete's been a bit quicker with the starfish grab, he was a lot slower with the traversal to the starfish. Bullet impact noticed is a bit of a tricky ending, but I think he lures the one outside guard. It feels a bit sketch though on Observer. I don't like those head turns. Oh god, oh god, oh god, that's the full whoosh. I think multiple times the Observer gets out and wins the map, but what even happened there in the last few seconds? I don't think Observer understands how he stayed green. But I think if this 30-second photo finish window passes, we will have the winner. 16 seconds down, and Robert is a floor below. It was just a better play to peekaboo, even though Observer almost ripped multiple times. I'm not even sure how that happened, but Observer stays alive and starts this tournament with a 6-0 sweep. We have very good timing towards the next match, which I think has a caster, so we'll rate sparklers before the first spin is live in 3 minutes, which kind of requires us to cut this Miami run by Machete short. I apologize, but looks like a very solid 8.5 minute first try run, and it just wasn't anyway. Unfortunate for Machete, but still a promising first match after a long break, so nothing lost for Machete yet. Observer is number 5 on the leaderboard currently, but rather tied for first because lots of players have swept their first matches already. And Machete's tied for 48th, but also doesn't really matter because 0 point from one match, still 5 rounds to go, and 5 or even 4 points will most likely be enough to advance. 1 minute and 55 seconds until the next match, so we will have a perfect rate timing into Sparkles. Soviet Dubo versus Speedrun, the Prime Minister. Oh wait, he isn't the Prime Minister? Never mind. Let us just believe that he is the next match, and we will have 3 more tonight with Scruffy versus TK, Yanini versus Geeks, and Falcon versus Chris X3, with the first round running until Tuesday evening. So far it's a smooth start. Let's hope the tourney continues that way. Thank you so much, Move, for editing this match, and GG's to both players. And I would like to say thank you for watching, and until next time, see you everyone.